let's get down to business.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to episode 1 of the Just Friends podcast, where I'm your host, Gas Station P, and my wonderful co-host,
Sarah Marie.
and my other co-host slash producer is.
Big V, Mustafa, what's going on, y'all?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today? It's nice Saturday, nice hot Saturday.
I know, y'all got y'all air running or no?
No, I just got the
that fan right on me. I see your fan. We can see your fan in the background. That's
it
in the top of the head.
My fan been running. Y'all, I get so hot. I get hot. Like I cannot. Like I get hot in the wintertime.
I like cool. I'm just like you. I like being cool. I don't like being hot unless I'm fucking. Other than that, no. But no. But what's going on? What y'all got plans for this weekend?
Well, my son graduates tomorrow.
Congratulations.
So it paid off. It's been a long journey. We grew up together, so it is like a monumental moment for him, but us together. So it's definitely going to be exciting tomorrow. And then we got the BBQ coming up for his graduation. You know, y'all don't do stuff like girls, like a party. So
we would. If the kid want the
party,
we would.
I mean, I guess he's just kind of like, I.
See, he don't want it. You trying to force it?
When I asked for a party, when I was like, "You want a party?" He was like, "No, I'm good." Like, all right. All right, barbecue. Then you hit with the food. He like, yeah.
See, give me the food. I'm good. That's all I want. See, that's all we want.
Look, he don't know no better yet. He don't know no better yet. Just remember that he young. He was old. He like, yeah, we about to do this party. I got a whole crew coming, but had a drinks. He ain't there yet, so he's in there.
Okay, then that's what's up. Well, congratulations to him.
Yeah,
on his ventures.
You.
Next thing is college or whatever you want to do. Just be successful.
Yep, he'll be going into that. He's got all his little plan. He's gonna do his trade. So we ain't got a lot of people who's doing trades. So it's really exciting for him to want to pick up a trade.
Definitely
and understand it. And a lot of people that I run into in our regular 9 to 5, you know, in my nursing, I get a lot of people who are in trades that have their own companies. And when we get on the topic of talking about my son, the first thing that they say is like, yeah, make sure he gets into that trade because there's all these, you know, people that are retiring. So now it's time for a new batch to come in, and it's good that he's picking that up.
It's also a bounce back from all this over education, right? So we overhype college and a lot of these skilled trades took a back burner, but they're paying more than college graduates now. So there is a jump back to that. So that's a good look, especially I don't know what his trade is picking up, but it's definitely a good look.
So he's already done his my son, just real quick, he's doing HVAC, and then he's already done technical college through the high school. He took a construction the construction course. So he did 2 years of that. So, and then outside of that, one of his friends, I mean, some of these kids are entrepreneurs. It's like, wow, this is really exciting. He's got a buddy, you know, and it's a whole group of them. They've been friends since we've moved here. His friend left high school, finished high school online, and opened a construction with his brother. And now he's been doing that while they've been in school, and now they're all working together. So they go to
That's what's up.
They all go to these sites together. They just put up a fence this week. Week ago, they were out in the south suburbs. So it's really nice to see them stick together, but also doing like what you like, you know. And I taught my son that, like, yeah, I went to school, and I think education is important, but you don't have to. And that's what I like about him, that I didn't have to make him do that. Like, it's a force. I want him to be able to, you know, do whatever he wants, because, you know, I had him at his age. I didn't have that opportunity. It was either slave myself all the time and work, or it was get an education and provide for you, where I didn't have that leeway of to kind of dibble and dabble and figure out what I wanted to do. I had to do it right away. So he's got live your life.
Yeah, I told my son, you going to the military, bro. Ain't no ifs or buts. You going to that military. look, he's smart, Mike. You go to the Air Force. They're gonna pay for college, housing, and all that.
I told because they harassed me, and at one point my son did think about it, and I told him, I'm like, you can go. Whatever you want to do, it is your choice. My uncle is a 30-year veteran. My family is military. Y'all didn't even know this. I briefly, to sum it up, when he was 3, I decided to go full force. So I was going into the Army as Navy, my bad, as a med tech. I went through everything. My parents were already guardianship of him. Do you know the day they got there for me to like final everything? I said, I don't want to do this. My daddy over there looking like,
oh wow, yeah.
They was looking at me like I was. They was like,
yeah. No, so I worked.
No, I'm not leaving. I couldn't leave my son. I could not leave him. I didn't want to. And if it was meant for me, I would have been there already.
You would have been there. No, I worked at the VA as an IT analyst, right? So I got to get the back end of how, because the VA kicks in once you leave the military. Yep. And they got so much benefits. Once you get that DD 214, at least, and you don't have to have an armor. You just have to have a general discharge.
Right.
You get so much benefits. And I ain't gonna lie, everybody's gonna get down.
Even if you're a kid of somebody as a veteran, one of my girlfriends growing up, she got paid to go to school because of her dad. She got $1,000 every month and paid to go to school. Like she got that, and they paid for her schooling.
So it's good. We got to start letting these kids know, right? Because college is expensive, and there's other routes, not just college. Especially if you're not going to be a doctor or a lawyer, there's other routes because you pretty much need to have a degree. You need to go to school to be a doctor. Ain't nobody wants some certified doctor. I need you to have a degree. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, you do legally, yes, but
and but other things, it's more skilled trades. And then look, as far as the Black community, we got sent off. Like, go to that military. Everybody I work with, I'm working with mostly Black people down there, and I'm talking about all their houses were decked out. Everybody got a Mercedes in the driveway. Like, the military is not this thing that we should be scared of as people. We should be embracing it. Hey, these kids want to shoot up the block anyway. Go shoot up some real ops for the army. You know what I'm saying? If you have that angst to get out.
There. Like, if you enjoy it, then it's like,
but they got something for you.
They got something for you if you want to, and they gonna train you real good too.
Real good. You'll be real trained. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're gonna be able to turn around real quick, like in 3 times. You're gonna spin around me like 8, and I'm gonna be like, I thought you spun around once.
Okay.
So what we got on deck for today, guys?
What we got on deck? Let's hop into it. The grand news of what this weekend has been going on is the Diddy situation. The video has been released of him attacking Cassie, and it's fucking insane. Vern, if you want to put up the video.
Why don't we look at this really quick? And before you do, I think all of us as parents and in agreement in what we've all kind of like meshed into what we've grown up to. We don't condone this. We definitely, I think all of us, our hearts go out to even this person we don't know, to anybody who goes through that. And as a survivor, which I don't speak about as a lot, but I am an advocate to women, and as a survivor myself. So if anybody ever, I don't know, Vern, if you want to pull it up, but just in case, if you do ever need support, or if you're in a situation where you feel like you can always call the domestic hotline. And they have many avenues to support, to get you out of your situation, to protect your kids, protect you at work, any shape or form. There's so many things that, and if you think it's money, these are free resources of people who truly want to help women with trafficking, domestic violence. The phone number is 800-799-7233, and that's the domestic hotline. And they also have a chat, which is if I'm not mistaken, it's 888-788. And then you just start texting and beginning, and somebody will immediately start helping you.
Great. And we will put those numbers in the bio so you guys can see. So if anyone needs that, please call and contact them. But Vern, please, trigger warning, guys. This will be the video.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Let me pull it on up. Let me pull that on up.
New surveillance footage obtained exclusively by CNN appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her. In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground. As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor back to the hotel room. Ventura is seen picking up a hotel phone. Combs seems to walk back to the hotel room, then returns and appears to shove her in a corner. Moments later, he can be seen throwing an object in her direction. According to Ventura's now settled lawsuit,
wow, I didn't see the part. I didn't see the part when
that is new to me. So that, by the way, this is not acting, everybody. That was definitely like, that's a lot. Wow. It's a lot.
No, that's a lot.
He truly is a villain. As everything, it's like everything now that they've been saying he's been doing, I really fucking believe it. Like,
so my question is, because we all have been friends, which most, if they don't know, we've all been friends for a long time. Pete, how does this make you view him now? Because I know you are a fan of him.
It's like, damn, I don't even want to play that album no more. Like,
wow,
bro, you kind of really, that was fucked up, man. Like, bro, for you to, I can see you yelling, you screaming, you angry, you
like
throwing
the typical
shit.
Diddy that we know, right?
Right. The fact you grab this woman, throw her on the ground, kick her, try to drag her back to the room, then throw a fucking vase at her. It's like, come on, bro. Like,
it's not even just that. It's that you repeatedly in all different.
And this ain't the only time.
Of course not. Did you?
This is one of the times, right? They got reports that like one of the friends was like, he did this in front of some of her friends. Sometimes that's what was caught on the surveillance camera.
Right. Now, the original OG, which is Perez, Perez, who started just like what we're doing. Remember, he's the OG of podcasting and interviewing, and he said that, which is, and I agree, as a victim, as a survivor, as an advocate, everybody at that hotel that did know about this and that was paid, you should you could blurt this out, you should absolutely fucking be prosecuted just as well as he is, because we all know this as fucking kids growing up. If you see something, you are just as worse if you don't do anything about it. You are just as guilty.
Yeah, I mean,
how can you? And it is myself. How I'm the friend that when I've gone out with sisters, my friend, sisters always bring different people. We all got our different groups of friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me and my sisters are brought up where even guy friends, like, if something's happening, I can't just sit back and I'm jumping in. I don't care who you are. No, if you around me, I can't turn my eye and act like it's not. No. Even my guy, when we first started dating, we were downtown, New Year's. And we downstairs chilling for a second to go back up to our suite. There was a girl and a guy arguing on the elevator. I'm hearing it. And I'm like, you should go check. He's like, nah. I'm like, what you mean? No, you need to go check. And the girl,
to be honest with you, Sarah, in certain situations like that, I'm not gonna jump in, because that man can have a gun and blast your boyfriend. You don't know how
understand that, but guess what? When she walked out, guess what? That lady's face was bloody, y'all.
I can understand that, but like I say, certain situations you don't jump in just to do certain shit. Now, in this situation with Diddy, I feel like nobody should have. No, Diddy, I ain't with that.
Now I ain't gonna lie.
Foul shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with that. But in a situation, motherfucker arguing, people out here crazy. Situation with the boy at the Maxwell Polish. If somebody came in there and tried to stop Buddy ass, and they would have popped him. Motherfuckers just losing lives for because you're trying to do the right thing.
Right? The mom.
You want to do the right thing.
I'm gonna tell you,
the way niggas is nowadays, it's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
And I understand.
The best thing you can say is stop, bro. This ain't worth it. You can.
I'm gonna tell you this. No, I'm gonna tell you this.
Never do anything like myself, but also I'm never gonna do that either. I am when I say if it's time to do something, then of course, come on now, we all grown, we got eyes. But I am gonna be a person to step up and be like, hey, stop. Like, what are you doing?
That's what
I'm gonna say so. I had two incidents in my life. That actually, three. But one, I've hopped in fights. I don't know what's wrong with me, guys, but I do. It was once I was at one of our family's properties, and I saw a man outside hitting this girl. I went outside, hopped right in there, like, bro, what the fuck is you doing?
Shit like
but
that.
I also talked to him like, bro, you don't want to go to jail over no shit like this, man. Like, whatever the fuck it is, it ain't worth going to jail. I remember another time though, I saw a guy getting to his girl on the blue line. He was up on like the Addison stop. I hopped into that. My mother was beat by my biological father, and like I can't sit back, and I say this, and I get the danger of it because my kids, their grandmother has them in this dance program called Gus. It's up north, it's in Evanston, some posh stuff, but one of the kids that was part of the program, he got killed. His mom's boyfriend came from jail. He was beating on her. He hopped in. The boyfriend killed him. So I get what you're saying, but I don't. Like I said, I've
been in a situation like that. I was at a skate rink. Guy was getting into it with his baby mama. I pulled him. I said, "Bro, this ain't worth it. Just take your kid." Or if she's not gonna give you the kid,
it doesn't mean that you gotta resort to violence, but even just jumping in and saying, "Hey," even to another woman, like, girl, don't, like, some women, and again, as somebody being in an abusive relationship, abuse comes in all shapes and forms, and what we just saw was like all in one, the verbal abuse, the physical abuse, the taunting. I mean, those are all, it comes in, somebody can't say, oh, well, they just said this to you. No, verbal abuse can be just as effective as somebody physically touching you. Mentally, I mean, our minds can literally make up things. Are you guys like aware? Like, we can make up things. So, and be, AKA brainwashed. So if you're hearing somebody repeatedly call you something, treat you a certain way, verbally, that's just effective as to your physical body than actually physically being touched. And if you gotta stop somebody and say, like, look, girl, it's not worth it. Like, step away. Don't try to fight him. Don't call your brothers. That's okay too. But like, I get what y'all saying. Sometimes you can't, just because people are.
Because I say that because shit is crazy now.
Yeah,
shit is really fucking crazy now. You know what I'm saying? Like, most times you will get a nigga who angry and you can stop that shit. Nowadays, niggas is like, I've seen a video, motherfucker had road rage. They trying to stop this shit. Like, hey, y'all calm down. This nigga pulled his gun out, shot him in the head, and killed this man.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
people with road rage. I mean, yeah.
But you didn't got killed because you trying to be the superhero. You trying to save this shit from, going what it is. Because niggas is crazy nowadays. It's fucked up that we living in a world.
Yeah, that happened with me and my son.
Nobody give a fuck no more.
Yeah, and I was telling my son, like, I understood. Actually, I wasn't scared, but he was running late to go to school and like to his tech, college, because they go in the morning, they're gone half the day. So I'm driving him, hurrying up, and there's this kid. I didn't know it was a kid. They cut me off. Like, I'm turning and they cut me off. And I'm like, dude, that's so stupid. And like, this is right before he got his license. I was like, see, this is why you got paid. It's like prime example. Right. Look, you got focus in the morning. People are crazy in the morning. People just drive crazy, period. That's why you got to just focus. You can't just drive for yourself. You got to drive for everybody. So we're driving, and like, now he's trying to race me. And I'm like,
I'm not even on that with you. Like,
I'm
like,
I'm not even on that. Like, well, I'm not racing with you. Now my son's seeing it. Now he cuts in front of us. I'm like, now I see it's two people. It's a guy and a girl. I'm like, oh my God. I get over. He gets over. I get over. I mean, this was like back and forth. So I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna have to like do my little zoop, zoop, zoop. So I immediately get over and I finally like get from away from him. We pull up to the light. They literally rode with us to the light and roll the window down. And this girl, she had to be like 17, 16, talking crazy to me.
That's what I mean. These people are fucking.
And I literally had to look, and I was like
you started
my son, like we was twinning them. Like, I mean to tell you, me and my son was like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" Like, do you know I'm concealed? I got it. I got it.
You started all this shit for what? Like,
what are you doing all this
why
for?
Are you
girl,
going
I could be crazy and knock your shit back.
People don't give a fuck whether
my
they live
son can been crazy in the moment. Boop boop pop. Now what you gonna do? Now you and your boyfriend shake me in the fucking street because you just decided to call me an old bitch.
Stupid.
Come on, let's. But again, these kids are totally different nowadays too.
Yeah, stupid. But like I said, I feel bad for Cassie, and I hate that it was people out here trying to, take Diddy's side and all this other bullshit. Thanks, Vern. Yep. All this other bullshit on. I'm not gonna tear a black man down. I mean, fuck everybody know who Diddy was from in the 90s. The nigga got just shot up the club.
But I don't think motherfuckers knew he was this. We knew some shit was off, but we didn't have detail. Because it was weird to me how J-Lo
one of my sisters has always been in the industry, and she literally did say, like, this man is fucking narcissistic. He is. I mean, he might be great at what he does, but that does not. This is just like with R. Kelly. Come on, everybody's like, he's great. He's the greatest. He's this. Jeff, Weinstein. Oh, he's great. He's made these. Okay, I'm great too.
Drake.
Does that excuse my inappropriate behavior?
We can't be look. We can't put Drake name out there.
Oh no, he's next.
You see, I wasn't trying to listen to him.
You must have seen the video, huh?
I ain't seen the video yet. I ain't seen
the comedian. It's a comedian out there. In 2019, he spoke on Epstein and R. Kelly and how they're gonna get locked up soon because of the pedophilia and all this other shit. And
now,
he said,
"I hate." What you talking about?
The white boy, a white comedian.
I think I remember that.
I hate to say it. He said, "I hate to say it. Drake is my boy. He's my boy." He said, but he's also going down for that shit too. Drake be hollering at young girls.
What is he going down for?
He hollering at young girls. He's a part of all that shit too. And he said,
what though? But look, I'm gonna say this. I think the whole industry part of it, bro. Look, Elvis was knocking young bitches. A lot of these rock stars was knocking young chicks. I think it's just part of the game. And I don't say it's valid. We got to grow as a people and get past that. But it's look, these girls, they're fans. They're right that they make themselves too available. And these guys, they have no moral compass, and that's the issue, right? They don't know how to say.
There's a lot to dissect when it comes into that, because I've even had, like, with my guy and his when you're around older people, of course they've lived, they're the lost generation, but they're wise. And when I hear them, a lot of things that they say about young women, that you put yourself out there. And as a woman, and not having a daughter, but having a stepdaughter, and having a guy that's a truck driver, so he sees everything all day, right? All the time. Mm-hmm. And I remember him saying to me one time, and then hearing like an older person, like in a different way of what he said, like, you put yourself out there. Why are you wearing that? Like, why? Yeah. You think it looks nice, and it probably does look nice. It probably looks cute, right? But you're so not intuitive of not thinking of the bigger picture. And now you get yourself in this situation. And then you're dressing overgrown, because some women do develop quicker. Some women who are abused start their their hormones do start. And that's a whole other topic. So you have to think, if you got and there's some busty women who are young ladies that are only 13. I was one. Yeah. I mean, I was sexually abused, and my period became when I was in 4th grade. I should not be getting my period. But in school and learning in psychology, and also just being an advocate as well, if you've been molested or touched or sexually abused, most women do, unfortunately, develop early, because you really shouldn't be getting touched at that. You're touching, it's the whole body. So my breasts were always bigger than other women. I always got teased, but I also always had men look at me.
Yeah.
So you got
It's
to
going
think
to
if
happen.
I dress a certain way and I've got breasts more than the girls that are 12 with me, they're going to think I'm grown. But in my mind, I'm not thinking that, right? I'm just, this looks cute. I like this shirt. I like this top. I like this halter top. I like these shorts. It's cute. I see what all these people I listen to on music, right? I mean, it's just so much that goes into it. So it's like, I don't like when people say, well, she shouldn't have had that on. What if this girl is fucking homeless? Honestly, what if she's homeless and this is all that she could fucking buy? She could only steal. There's just so many things. What if it's not her fault? What if she doesn't have a dad? What if her mom has exposed this person to X, Y, and Z? You can't say.
Well, and going into that, some of what's going on with Cassie is exactly that. Like when he first approached her, she was young. Like a lot of this is some of these R&B girls, just like with Aaliyah, maybe Sam, Beyonce too. They're getting around these adult men who's in their late 20s, early 30s when they're teenagers, and so they're groomed to fall into line to now my career is tied to him. Because if you hear what Catherine said, it's like she didn't really want to fuck with P. Diddy at first. He kind of just he actually basically harassed her until she gave in, and then he won, hung the little success over her head to make her comply to what he wants.
Which a lot of them do.
A lot of them do, exactly. So that's something the industry really needs to come and reconcile with, because we have to be real. Like maybe we need to say, hey, if these women ain't 18 yet, they can't go into the music industry.
It shouldn't be here. I feel like
just like a basketball player. You know what I'm saying?
People, as like my brother, being in the industry with one of the, with Sosa, let's use my brother Merk and P. I guarantee you this: there is all sorts of women around, correct? But I know for a fact there would not ever, that would never happen. There would be all sorts of contracts. There would be all sorts of security, because some of those people get so in their mind, and this is like broken down again, and that's a whole other genre for us to get into, that you feel that you're untouchable. Let's just use R. Kelly. I'm untouchable. Diddy, I'm untouchable. I can pay. I can this. I kind of can get away with this. No, the fuck you can't, because you might get away with it then, but guess what? It's gonna still come out. It is always gonna take somebody else. So if there's a way, there's a how. So don't think that you cannot not get away from it. So I mean, he'll be back.
We'll be back. Yeah. So it's interesting just to see how that played out, because you mentioned possibly Drake might be. So we'll see. We have to just wait and see on that. We already know what R. Kelly was up to. They're referencing that Jay-Z was Beyonce was like 15. Yeah, she was 15 when they first got around each other. So here come Pete. So we got to really. I know, big deal. It's okay. We got you. So we really have to sit back and say, think about this. These little girls should not be in the music industry. So you become famous. You're 14, 15. Let's say like Aaliyah, for example. She was like, 14 or something? And she had these #1 hits. Now, I don't want to deny her talent and all that, but she can't perform at clubs. You know what I mean? They do. They let them be a performer, but you shouldn't be able to perform somewhere where you can't just walk in with your ID.
Yes, you can. You can.
I'm saying you can. You can perform.
There also has to be lots of measures of security, meaning your mama there.
But your mom ain't never there. See, that's the thing. Your moms ain't never there. Like that's the issue, right? These girls.
But that's my point of what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what needs to be done. Because
right.
Let's really be for real. Just like they just talked about this. I don't know. Like I said before, have you guys have not had the chance? Go look at not where and yes, again, this is serious about Cassie. This is serious for any woman, right? But it's not just for women, it's men too. It's hard to like it's just women. No, I feel bad for men that cannot speak up because they're afraid. Your manhood, mentally, you guys operate totally different from us. And it doesn't just happen to girls. Like, talk about Drake Bell from Nickelodeon. This man just recently came out, and I could only imagine how fucking hard that was. If it's hard for a woman, like for me to be able to tell you guys now live, yes, I was molested by my mom's boyfriend. I was not, we're not talking, I was penetrated by, and I can, you want to know why I can say that? Because I've overcome it. I don't give a fuck about this man. That man actually is 6 feet under now. So
that helps.
That helps. And and honestly, the story of that, when I came back into my mom's life, my biological mom, kid you not, my family had no idea except 2 of my cousins. And they were like, oh my God, that's the reason why you were taken. We weren't crazy. We heard it. And I'm like, yeah, but this took years of therapy. This took years of self-loving. So I could only imagine how he felt, because if it's hard for a woman to just tell a man or a family member, I could only imagine how he felt. And he did it. I mean, the man still, some of the things he couldn't talk about. But if y'all watch that documentary about 90s kids, those kids on all that, I could only imagine who else hasn't had the, you know, the courage to say something.
Right.
No, exactly. And see, I mean, speaking to you, talk about, what Drake Bell is in, right? So what I found, and so with that particular case, he then went out and almost did the same thing to a young man too. He admitted it too.
Yeah.
So, it's a cycle of abuse that happens. But, but a bigger point I was about to make is that, it's harder for men, but I think it's really difficult for Black men to come out and admit it, right? Because see, white men, they do therapy, they come out, when you think of masculinity, Black men are pretty at the top of that. I think for Black men, I think most Black men, if they got touched, you would never hear about that shit. You would never know.
Yeah, and even Hispanic. I mean, there's a book I read. It's about I enjoyed reading this book in college. It's a really good book. It's about if you find it while we're talking, post it. It's about a guy who was like one of the original Latin kings, and he's from Puerto Rico. He has it fucked up over there. Then he comes to here, like most migrated of in New York and Chicago, and he, is a definition of a gang member, not this shit that's going on now.
Right.
Like most gang members then went to a gang because their family was fucked up and they took care of. So, he thought, and he went from being a Cobra, being this. I mean, we're talking the old school, really, in Chicago, New York. And it just, a lot of what he went through, he was molested a lot. And and he says in the book, like, how hard he wanted to tell his family, and even gang members that were taking it was extremely hard for him. And knowing,
have you seen that Baby Ray? Did you say the Baby Reindeer thing on Netflix? Yeah. Now, man, so and it was, what was interesting with that is that he went on after that to date a transgender person. But when he talked to his parents, he was honest. He's like,
and then the dad
he was like, that was deep. That was so deep. But he was thinking the dad got molested too. He didn't share what and he was telling him he really questioned himself, because he's like, did the man see something in me, or did he activate something in me? Because after that, he was fucking everything. He was fucking men, women, everything.
Women, all that.
Well, I'll say, I think every survivor has a different story. There's a lot of similarities. And as for myself, I mean, I repeatedly I was repeatedly abused, even in foster care. Like, I can't tell you how many times I was repeatedly touched and physically abused and mentally abused by, even my foster parents. There were some foster parents that were physically abusive, not sexually. The sexually came from kids that touched me. Like, I mean, I had a foster brother who would repeatedly touch me every day. I mean, at any moment when he could. And even afterwards, I don't even know how I did not trust men. I didn't trust any man. Yeah. And when I came with my mom and my dad, my mom and my dad, like, may they rest, but they saved my life. Like, they literally saved my life. We're not talking rags to riches like little orphanage.
Right.
No, they
This,
literally
from the pain. Yeah.
Literally, my mom and dad, you're looking at these white family. I'm biracial, but you're looking at this white couple. My dad's white Suge Knight, Russian, non-denominational man, Polish and Ukrainian, speaks Russian, English, and you know, all these languages. You got my mom, this white woman who's Italian and mixing this, and they're literally trying to make sure Sarah is okay. What therapy do we need to do? My mom took hair classes for biracial. What sexual therapy does she? I mean, my dad. So there were times where I was, because of the trauma that I had, if I heard a man's voice too loud, I would pee myself. Yeah. I don't know, you know, that, but again, that's like
trauma.
how
that's trauma.
That's how deep it was.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even, like, my parents, I loved playing with my dad in foster care, but I would not. It took me, I think my mom, if I'm not, took me like 6 months to actually ever be able to be alone with my dad. It hurt him. No, I remember my dad telling me it hurt him because he genuinely loved me, but it
right. But you going through what you're going through, yeah.
I loved him. Oh, I loved my dad. Like when I remember when I met my, you know, them being my new foster family, I loved it. But oh no, right. And even for a long time after that, even going through therapy as young. I mean, I think a therapist at one point told my family, like, she might repeat a cycle. She might. So that's why she needs to be in therapy. So we can stop that. It's not in you. It's like it's not. I hate when people say it's in you. It's not what's in you. Like somebody repeatedly touching somebody. It's because of what you've been exposed to. It's your mind. Right. It's your mind. This is your body. And so I never had thoughts of that, but I was very promiscuous. I contemplated of my sexuality all the time. I was very insecure for years. I mean, even in my adult life, like for a long time. So, I mean, it goes through all shit, but you have to get help. You have to be able to talk to somebody. And it's sad for Cassie because people around you that know it and then they're not doing anything. And
no one saying anything. Yeah,
the sad reality though is that her story is nowhere near new, right? We have Tina Turner.
Yeah, they
that's what the industry has to come. It's time for a reckoning in the black music because it's too much. The dynamic of power has been always the man is the aggressor because he holds that woman's career in his hand. Right. And we gotta take the power away from. I mean, we so now a woman can go out here, get her stuff on these platforms, and she doesn't really need to depend on the man. I mean, let's be real. Like, look at OnlyFans, right? So outside of the music career, a lot of these porn stars are going through the same stuff, but now they have another avenue because they can just set it up on their computer. They go to this app and they can do what they want to do without someone else involvement. So we just got to make the barrier of entry for artists a little easier to get into, that they don't have to rely on everybody else because you don't know if someone actually has your best interest in mind or not.
That's true.
If you got good talent, people are going to share your music, right?
It just comes from, again, money is the root of all evil, and it's not set for a reason. And like, let's just be for real. If you really sit back at any time of when, even if we're not wealthy, rich, and famous, I think we're all human. Anytime I've ever had a lot of money, like I talk all about when I used to dance, I came from a good home. But me touching that money, I'm gonna tell you right now, people are like, why did you dance? Because I could, because I made money and it was easy. And all I had to do was this. I didn't even have to, for years of any bachelor party that I did, I didn't even have to get butt naked at all. I just had to have one nice, one couple little outfits, shake some ass real quick. And I saw money. I was like, oh yeah. Oh, dang, I made this an hour. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this for again, so when you have money and sex and young women naive, and then you got power,
right?
What do you think is going to happen?
Exactly.
Money, power, respect. That's all people. That's
now,
all they want.
Next on our agenda, we have women refusing to take accountability. Lord have mercy.
Okay, now let
Lord
me stop
mercy.
right here. Hold on, because I gotta get ready to go. So y'all gonna have to finish this off. Okay, so
All right.
y'all have a great show, and fuck Diddy. But y'all have a great show, and everybody out there enjoy my cast members, and they gonna give y'all something good. All right.
Great.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye. All right, Vern.
So here we go. Women refuse to take accountability. Now you go ahead, Sarah, because I'm not about to. I got my view on this.
We're still in the essence of still our viewers learning, but y'all will learn real quick that y'all hoes got to take accountability, because I'm a woman, and there's many times where I haven't, but sometimes it's like, who raised you? You want respect, but you can't take accountability for the fucked up shit you do. But you demand a husband. Hold on, wait a minute. But you demand a husband. You demand a ring. You demand money. You demand a household, right? You demand all respect from everybody, right? But you can't take accountability for the smallest little things that you do. Ladies, come on now, stop. I think a lot of women nowadays they can't.
I mean, but I don't think society even expect us out of it. I think that's part of the problem. Right? Look at the music right now. The music ain't got shit. There's no music holding women accountable for anything. It's hey, get the money out this nigga. Shake some ass, get some money, and that is the culture. What we call the culture.
That's why I said, like back then, you could dance and still be respected, and didn't have to.
Well,
you know what I'm
back
saying? Like
then, you would dance, but ain't nobody knew.
And back then,
if you danced, you did not. Motherfuckers did not know your real name.
Right.
You didn't put that shit on no social media. Right. It was just.
It was a word of mouth.
It
was a word of mouth. It was like, hey, my homegirl, she got a couple girls that she danced with. Oh, she be up there. Oh, you want to holler at her? You got to go up there and see her.
Right.
It was
all nowadays that shit is it's too commercial. I mean, I was just in Atlanta, and part of me is like,
Atlanta's always being. By the way, my favorite strippers are from Atlanta. I just have to say, they are. They are. Hey, Follies. You put me in Follies. Give me a 6-piece.
I was out there. I can't remember half the fucking that because I'm not a strip club. Some girl told me like, "Oh, you look like you just be spending money at the strip club." Like, no, I hate strip club. My mother was a stripper, so it rubs me the wrong way.
I understand.
I'm a little bit traumatized. I remember my mother calling me outside one day talking about, I need you to come to the parking lot. Some nigga just followed me home from the strip club. So I'm like, oh. So for me, I can't get down with it. But I do like that, at least down there, since it's more part of society, part of the norms, they don't have a negative connotation towards the women. You know what I'm saying? It's just looked at as a job down there. And I mean, it should be look like that so you can calm the fuck down.
No, but do you notice the difference though? That back then it was like, oh my gosh, she a stripper? Like, oh my god,
are
you for real? Like it was like that's why nobody talked about it. It was like
right. It was a hush thing.
It was like, my sister did adult. My sister's did porn. She did stripping too. Like I think a couple of me and my sisters, we all did it. One sister did adult and she went far with it. But even when that was happening, it was like,
But see, I think the acceptance of sex work, we gotta accept, Amsterdam, they don't have this problem, right? Sex workers is part of the economy. They got protections and legal. So on the flip side, these girls they shouldn't be ashamed of it. They provide a service. No, it should be not demonized.
You shouldn't be frowned upon. I think this is my thing, and I think it's because I've done it and I've been there. I have older sisters who I think that if you are doing it for a purpose, not a career, I think that you as a woman should be able to love your body in any shape or size, stretch marks or whatever. natural or not. Now, I got my highs and lows when it comes to getting plastic surgery. I feel like you should do it if you want. If this is what you truly want, then do it. I don't think that you should do it to be looked at and get all this attention, because then if that's the case, then if you're going to get all this attention, then you better be fucking marketing your fucking ass off, because this has become your product at this point. So I feel that if any woman is doing OnlyFans, stripping, or any of that, that's all fine and dandy, but it needs to be a stepping stool so you and your kids can live comfortably, open a business, or put yourself in school, whatever
it's
the case is.
You have a goal, because you can't strip forever. But see, I think what's happening is that with the acceptance of all this, what was considered deviant behavior back then, it allows women not to be accountable for other shit. It trickles down to, well, if all this whole activity is acceptable now, just being that type of woman is acceptable in a relationship, and it's not. You can't.
I think a little bit of that. I agree with you. I think a lot of it too. Like I hear a lot of women who are like, "Oh, y'all women is the new niggas."
I mean, shit. Look at the rap game. Look at the rap game. Girls took over. So
listen, I think that there, as a woman, I think yes and no. I'm prepared for all the backlash that anybody wants to say. It's my fucking opinion. I think that we've come a long way as women, but I have to say, like the situation with Cassie, women still being trafficked, women still being patronized at workplaces, corporate world, just as a mom, a mother just doing a full-time, we've come a long way, but there's also still a lot of damper that are still put on women. And when they say like, hey, women have these rights, yeah, we have rights, but how many of those rights are really actually really? So I think the women who hear this, I think they let it go to their head and they're like, well, you know what, I am this bitch, I am this woman, or I am this girl, whatever, however, because those are all different forms of a female. I think it goes to their head, and I feel like they're like, well, I don't have to do anything. I can do whatever the hell I want, and I don't have to be accountable of my shitty actions. And that's when like I said, pause. Yes, you do. Yes, the fuck you do. Like anybody else in this, as the next man next to you, yes. But I don't think there's enough. I think I agree with you. The society, the stuff that's around, or people's upbringing too.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's the bigger thing, right? It's the nature over nurture, right? So how have you nurtured? So if you come from a family of women that just, I mean, shit. I got stories for days with women and accountability. I can talk about my mom all goddamn day. She doesn't take accountability for a goddamn thing. I mean, this woman pulled a gun on me.
My mother as well. My biological mom, she could never take accountability for it. Not even for, I mean, all of us were taken from her. It's nobody else's. Guess what? It's
nobody else's fault.
It's not her fault. It's not the drugs. It's not the man that beat on you. It's not the man that almost killed my little sister. It's it's everybody else's fault.
Right, it's everybody else's fault.
And I just got in the system cause it was their fault.
And I never want to victim shame, but looping in the Cassidy situation, like, yeah, I get it. I get that, this man had you under some type of influence, but at the same time, you have to take it. And eventually, that's exactly what she did. Took accountability and realized she'd allowed this man to do this because she was chasing something. And if you're chasing your dreams,
and I think that's why I said a lot of victims have similar as myself. Some women don't even know that they have personality disorder. Personality disorder doesn't mean you're crazy, like, because we try to dramatize this crazy word. No, because that's just what's for years, decades of saying that. Personality disorder means that I have a girlfriend of mine that has that, is diagnosed. She's a great boss, lovely girl, super educated, but she has personality disorder because based off of her relationships. She will get in a relationship and become so attached to the point where this person can be a murderer and she will, for the death of her, I mean, she doesn't even does it. It could be wrong and she will still want to be with that person. That is a lot.
That's part of Stockholm. That's Stockholm. We know that.
Yep.
So
I mean, I can't fault her, but I think a lot of people have the same thing. So it's like, yeah, you do allow stuff, but then in those moments, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. No.
But
And this is a great segue because our next topic is men issues in society, and a lot of our issues are definitely mental shit that we don't want to address. The way we're the way we hope to be seen. We already hinted at, the masculinity thing, this perception of masculinity. And, it just really feeds into, like what it's a lot of issues being men nowadays because look, I mean, it's a lot of accountability we have to take for men. We were at the helm of society for so long, like we're the head of the house. Well, we're supposed to be the head of the house.
right.
But then you see these things with look at all these men who got money that we want to idolize, and look at what they're caught doing. Look at P. Diddy, look at Harvey Weinstein, look at Bill Cosby, and it's like we have to find a balance between what it is to be masculine and show we're that symbol of masculinity versus being abusive. So and I mean it's
I think society to that again. I mean, every decade. I mean, we're in decades and decades and decades of you like you said. There's some men who are Southern hospitality, depending on where you're from, where you treat that woman right, and you are the breadwinner, and she is Susie Homemaker. And then you've got some that are like, no, we are a team, and we're both gonna do this. And then you've got some men that unfortunately have had some really unfortunate situations in their life, and they've seen things, and they're lost. So then they're fighting. I think a lot of men are fighting a lot of like social and mental issues of a lot of it now. I think a lot of it, and I think a lot of men that are in their 30s and 40s, even my uncle, I think because it's been so long where it's like y'all man, just like get over it.
Right. Well, and yeah, exactly. So in the black community, like I think 50 just said something recently about having he was like having these problems, these mental problems, is that's a privilege for somebody with money. Like if you're out here trying to make it, you don't have time or the resources to address some type of disability. You got to make money. So I can't address this trauma. I got to get over it and move forward, provide for my kids and family, because I mean, we can be robbed of jobs because of some type of disability. And so it's hard sometimes.
Mental health it really is very important, and it matters. And I think the recent generations, I'm thankful that it's there coming from somebody, like I said, being in therapy. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say that I was in therapy at this age. And now I think there are some actors who have openly, I can't think of, but they have therapists. There's doctors who have therapists. There are therapists who have therapists. There are.
But see, that goes into what 50 was saying. You're an actor. You have money. You can afford to have
exactly. You should. I feel like somebody in that, if you're doing that, like look at police. That's traumatic.
Fuck it for sure. Yeah, these motherfuckers. My father's a cop. They have to, and they have a bad issue if they can't perceive normal situations, right? Like they forget, like you're never calling the police to say I'm having a good day. Right? Say, hey, everything's going fine. Just want to check in.
You could be like, hey,
but who's doing that, right? So you're calling them because
I should
there's
start that
some
trend.
issue.
Anybody who wants to start, I should, even though I really don't. Right. Unfortunately, don't really mess with police.
Yeah, first of all, they're gonna hang up on you, like, ma'am, this is for emergencies.
I mean, you could call the 1-800 non-emergency. I mean, you could call the
311. The 311.
No, yeah. I mean, my local police, there's a non-emergency number.
Yeah, it's 311 for Chicago. So we got
right.
No.
I have a actual full number to call.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, they give us a little. I don't know what they help you with nowadays because everything is on the internet. But yeah, but also if we're in this age of equality amongst men and women, we do need to really figure out and have some type of agreement on what is the new societal standards for being a man and expressing masculinity. We can't suppress it because, let's be honest, no woman is attracted to a guy that doesn't show his masculinity. That's not the reality. I won't say no woman, but most women. Right. Most women still like a guy that's a slightly aggressive because I think they feel that if something happens, this guy
or even like vice versa, like a man likes to see a woman that can carry herself. So some women, it doesn't have to be a lot of masculine, but he can carry himself as a man should, right? So I think even too, before we finish, I think that it just comes with a lot of, like we said, a mental health issues. I think there's a lot of weight left on your shoulder, especially because of the generation that we're in. We didn't have like these new age, like my son, where it was like, you don't have to go to college. There was so much thrown because your father's father and generations of that. So I think that y'all's issues, it's hard, but I think it's hard. I think it's hard for everybody. I think it's hard.
It's definitely hard. I think too, it's a whole nother layer under being black, right? Because look at this whole issue with Kendrick and Drake right now, and they're both attacking each other's masculinity. Drake's talking about how you big stepping in a size 7, right? And so it's like we put this other layer of masculinity on top of just being a man that everybody else like, hey,
should just get along, and if you don't get along, then just go on about your business and make your money, and I'm gonna make my money.
Well, that's the rumor there is that this is all a PR stunt. So
I will say this: my favorite beef though was fuck Jay-Z. That was some hot shit. That was some hot shit.
Now, I'm gonna go. My favorite beef. That's why I was like, look, y'all gonna beef. Bring the beef. Bring back the Tupac and Biggie beef. If we gonna beef,
no. Bring back to when Cam. Remember when Cam rolled up at Hot 97? Bring that back. He was He was like, I'm about it. I'm here.
Yeah.
What's up? This beef. Are we live? Cool.
This beef. It just smelled of a PR stunt, and just it just smelled of. But looping it back in, it's just we put this extra layer of this alpha machismo masculine symbol on black men that we don't put on any other man. I don't think Asian men out here really caring about their masculinity like a black man.
They got a new trend now, y'all. Comment on this. They got a new trend. Before you get with before you're with a black woman, and then the after effect. I don't know, because them Asian men was looking real masculine after he dealt with Sister Girl.
She whipped his ass into shape. Yeah, that's what Hey, look, black women don't want no timid man. That ain't happening. It ain't happening. I ain't never seen no black woman say, "Yeah, I like a dainty man. I like a man that I lead." Every black woman I've worked with, been with, know of, they aspire to the man leading. They want him to lead, but then I lose back to, can they let him lead? The accountability part.
That's a whole other topic for next time.
Yes. Yeah. So you go ahead and close out.
Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in, even though we lost one of 3. We will be back next week in person. You can follow me on Instagram at OsoMarie. And you can hit us up personally. Vern will put our emails and P's too, since he's not here. And until next time, we will see you guys again. Thanks for tuning in.
This is